If you're running Facebook ads today, then you know that creative is one of the most important pieces to actually scaling an account. And after looking through and managing hundreds of accounts over the past 11 years, the one thing I noticed is that brands have a really hard time finding winning creatives, scaling winning creatives, and actually understanding what creatives are winners within their own ad accounts. So many winning ads are literally right under their noses. They're already running those winning ads and they have an impossible time scaling those ads. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process for how I find winning ads that are actively running in my own ad accounts right now. Then I'm going to show you how your competitors have already found your winning ads, how you can steal the best performing ads from your competitors so that you could short line your way to having the top performing ads in your very own ad account. And then finally, I'm going to show you how you can actually scale by taking creatives from your competitors and taking creatives from your own ad account that are proving to be strong already. So in this ad account that we're going to be looking through right now, we've spent nearly $100,000, $99,837. We've driven $202,000 in revenue at a 2.03 return on ad spend. Now, this process does not matter if you literally spent $100 or if you spent $100,000 over the last 30 days. What I want you to do is the most simple version of creative analysis. We are literally selecting all of our campaigns and we're clicking at the ad level. Once we're in the ad level, we are sorting by spend. I'm going to put a couple filters here because as you can see already, Facebook takes forever to load. So what I like to do here is I like to go into the search bar and I just like to put the most popular, which is impressions on the ad is greater than 0. That's going to eliminate and bring me down from 2,400 ads to 294 ads. The next thing that we're looking for here are what ads have spent the most amount in the ad account. So the key criteria that we're looking for are high ad spend and above our target KPI. We're not going to get fancy with click-through rates or CPCs or CTRs. We're not even really focusing on CPMs. We're not even focusing on add to carts or initiate checkouts right now. The most important variables that we actually care about in e-commerce are amount spent, return on ad spend, and I guess revenue. In this case, what am I looking for? I'm looking for outliers. We're running everything in a CBO environment in this account, which means the spend will be distributed to the best performing ads, right? This gives us a major advantage when I'm looking at this. I'm not manually pushing cash into any of these ads at all. Because we have the top performing ads rising to the top naturally, we know which actually ads we need to create more iterations of. Now let's take a look at a live example of this. I'm going to take the very first ad in this entire ad account. This ad right here has spent $11,000, meaning it's over 10% of the total ad account spend, and its return on ad spend is greater than our average. Our average, remember, is 2.03. This ad has a 2.5 return on ad spend. Clear winner, right? So I'm going to take this, make a mental note that this is an ad that we need to create more of, which I'm going to get to in a moment. And then we're just going down the list. We're just looking through what else has spent a lot and what else is above our KPI. What you're going to notice in this account is because we're managing it quite well, you're going to notice that there's a lot of top performing ads, high ROAS, high spend in the account. So we have 1, 2, 3, all above the average here and very high spend. We see a touch below our average here with this number 4 ad. We're not going to be touching that. And then we see a couple of additional ads right here that are just at our target return on ad spends. One more down here. So what I'm going to do for this example and what I would like for everyone to do here is take these ads and create iterations of them. What does that even mean? I could show you what that means. Take a note of which ads are performing the best by both amount spend and return on ad spend and create as many iterations as possible of these ads. Now, everyone gets confused on what iterations to make. So let me show you exactly what to make. So I have here our motion board. And by the way, you can get this completely free down in the description. It's all the best ads that we're running for some of our clients and then some competitors of our clients. We just like to use this as inspiration, which we're actually going to get to in a few minutes in this video. But what I want to show you here is how you can create iterations of literally any ad and what an iteration actually is versus what I think people perceive an iteration to be. Let's just take this ad run by Ghost. This is a protein powder. Obviously, it's kind of a funny ad right off the bat, right? You could see why this is engaged. You can see why this may have worked well. If Ghost was really serious, they would have created a dozen plus variations of this ad. Maybe they did, I don't know for sure, but they would have run dozens of variations of this top performing ad. Here's how you actually do it. Let's say this was a top performing ad for you in your ad account. Instead of just taking this ad and putting a new filter on it, maybe changing up the copy at the top or changing the size, which I think a lot of people think are actual variations. A real variation is something being changed in the photo that is so significant that it's going to yield a change in return on ad spend in engagement rates. What does this mean for this? We're going to change out this flavor with all the other flavors of protein powder. Keep this exact guy with this funny look on his face, with a mouthful of cookies, with the backwards hat on, everything exactly the same, except instead of Chips Ahoy flavor, let's do an Oreo flavor. Let's do the next flavor. Let's keep pushing more flavors. These iterations need to be set up in a way where they feel almost exactly the same, except for one variable changing. That would be round 1 of iterations. Round 2 of iterations is changing the person. While this ad worked, we know that this ad's working. Take everything exactly the same and swap it to a different looking person. Maybe go with a female here. Maybe go with a different bodybuilder here because this is a protein powder. Maybe go with someone older, maybe someone younger, maybe someone that looks wise, someone with glasses, someone without a backwards hat. Maybe show more of their body. You can see where I'm getting at here. You don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time. An iteration has such a stain on its name. It's something that is almost like looked down upon these days. People will be like, oh, iterations of ads. Like, what does that even mean? I'm not just changing the background of my ad. No, we're changing the core elements of the ad with the same structure of the ad. There's one more subtle variation that you can make, which is take the same product, same person, and have a different facial expression on the person. Those are way more subtle, way more nuanced. If you're spending extreme amounts, $100,000, $200,000 plus per month, that's an iteration that you can test. But the big swings are what you need to test, especially if you're sub $100,000, because a change of just this guy being cross-eyed with cookies in his mouth to staring at the camera with cookies in his mouth is probably going to yield an insignificant change compared to a completely new person posing in this way. That's the very first process that we'd like to take for finding what ads are actually working in our ad accounts. You could do that step by step. The next thing we're going to do is take inspiration from our competitors and we're going to steal that to create better ads than them. People fall into a trap when they do this. What we're going to do is we're just going to type in Nike, the most straightforward, biggest brand that everyone loves to compare themselves to. This is the trap. The trap is that you type in Nike and you think that if you're a shoe brand, you should be making ads like Nike. First off, Nike's been doing this so long, there's a book from the founder on my wall right here. Second, they have such massive brand awareness that they don't need to sell directly anymore. So what you should be doing, instead of falling into the trap of just typing in the biggest competitor, is find someone who's just one step above. If you're a beauty brand or a skincare brand, what you don't want to do is type in Kylie Cosmetics. What you might want to do, and this is a little bit of an extreme, but it's the first one that comes to mind, is type in something like Glossier. If you type in Glossier, you're going to notice that A, they don't have a big celebrity promoting all their stuff. They're defined with their own style. And yes, they have a lot of ads. They have a large budget. I know that for sure. But you can copy these styles. They are not doing anything that's game breaking, and they haven't been around long enough where if you ask your mom's mom what Nike is, everyone's going to know. But if you ask your mom's mom what Glossier is, only a few, if any, are going to know, and they probably need to be 24 to 34 to actually know what Glossier is. This puts them more into that range of a competitor that you can compare yourself to. Once you get into the dash with Glossier, whether it's in the Facebook ads library, Motion, or anywhere else, you're going to look for the longest running ads. Now, Motion has the ability to sort by the longest time running, and what we're looking for are the ads that have been running the longest. That's an indication very clearly of performance. I think that's pretty obvious to everyone. So once we look at the longest running ads, the next thing I want to do, even though we're sorted by longest running, I just want to eliminate anything that's been running for less than 1 month. So we're going to make sure everything on our screen has been running for more than 1 month. And then one by one, I'm going down the list and I'm literally going to view each one of these ads, decide which ones apply to my brand specifically, and try to create and copy the most applicable formats. What that does not mean is you go and you create something that's not actually relevant for your brand. If the best Glossier product is the boy brow and you don't sell the boy brow, then don't try to push a mascara for your business if you sell lipstick. What you do need to focus on is the format. What is the format telling you that is unique that you can transfer in your own brand tone? And now a key here, and this is where a lot of people get caught up, they just take the top 2 or 3 ads. Explore. Go down this page. Look at what's unique. Look at what you're not doing. Don't look for validation here. Look for things that are different. If none of your products have callouts, like this ad, for example, which I love, maybe you should try an ad with callouts. So go down this list and create your own list of ads that you would like to create for yourself. Now, it doesn't mean you have to create 50 ads in one day. Just knock off the list. Try new concepts. That is going to be the home run swings that you need, in addition to step one, which was all of your iterations to actually find winning ads in your ad account and winning ads from competitors. Now, the last and final step, how do we actually implement this into an ad account? What I would recommend and what I'll tell you right now is you need to be graduating your best performing ads into your scale campaign. Within this ad account that we started with at the very beginning, what I would do is I would take my top performing ads, the same ads that we're creating iterations of, what we're deeming as winners. So we're clicking the hard duplicate button, not a copy and paste and not the quick duplicate. You have to use the hard duplicate. We're moving them from our testing campaign or our CBO campaign into the graduation process of our scaling campaign. Once you click the scaling campaign, they should be graduated into an existing ad set, which is going to be right here. And then you are creating one copy and you're showing all existing reactions, comments, and shares. That's going to keep all of the important social proof on that ad that's already working and transfer it into the scale campaign. The next thing that everybody always asks me, do I pause down the ad that was working in the testing campaign? No, you never pause down an ad that's working in Facebook. You are going to have two copies of ads, technically even running to the same audience in many cases, but this is okay because we are controlling for spend. We are not controlling for audience. We're not controlling for any other variable except for scale. The scaling campaign's purpose is to set dedicated budget to the top performing ads in your ad account so that overall you can increase your expenditure in Facebook and of course do so at the most stable ROAS because you're only spending the majority of your budget on the scaling best performing ads. That is a wrap. If you got value out of this video, please let me know in the comments below. I try to reply to all relevant comments. And if you want that motion board with all of our top creatives, there's a link in the description to go get it for free. And finally, if you want us to do what I just broke down for you and actually have professionals run your ad account, then go to the moonlighters.com. There's a link in the description to apply to work with us today. I will see you all in the next one.